Well, hello, my friends. So in the previous lesson, we talked about event emitters. So in this lesson, we're going to talk much more about modules, and we're going to see different modules, all right? So let's create a new event emitter, and we'll delete all this stuff. All right, so now let's begin. We're ready to start. So I'm going to require another core module in Node.js. This module will be called util, which is definitely short for utilities. So in this module, this is going to allow us to do, various things. One of the things that this util module will allow us to do is inherit certain things from objects built into Node.js. So let's require util, and you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to say const util and set that equal to require util, like so. And first of all, I'm going to create a new object constructor. So I'll say const teams. This is going to be a function. And this function is going to take in a name as a parameter. And then inside of here, I'm going to say this dot name is equal to name. So whenever we create a new team, we're going to pass it through a name. All right, so let's go ahead and use this util module. So now I want to inherit the events emitter because I want any team which is going to be created using this constructor function to inherit the event emitter so that, well, we can attach custom events to it. See where we're going? So I'm going to say util, which is the thing right here, dot inherits. And then we pass through two arguments into this function. So the first thing that we pass through is the object constructor that we want to inherit, and that is teams. So we want teams to inherit the thing we want to inherit, which is the events.eventEmitter, just like that. So you see where we're at. Now this event emitter is going to inherit anything created using this teams constructor. Okay, so let's go ahead and make some teams. So first of all, I'm going to say const arsenal equals to new teams, and then we pass through the name of a team, which is arsenal. All right, so then I'm going to duplicate this, and I'll make two more teams. You were thinking I was making executive teams or something, huh? Nope. So for the second one, I'll say Juventus. And this will be Juventus as well. And for the last one, I'm going to say Galatasaray. Like so. All right, so now we've got three teams in here. And I want to wire up some event listeners to each one of these teams using some custom events. So I'm going to store these three teams in an array. And here I'm going to say const team array and set that to be equal to an array. First element is going to be Arsenal. Second is going to be Juventus. And the last one is going to be Galatasaray. All right, so now we've stored all of them in an array. So to attach an event listener to each team, I'm going to iterate this array. So I'm going to say team array.forEach, which is just a JavaScript method cycling through each one of these. And then for each one of these, I'm going to fire this callback function, and it's going to take the each team as a parameter. So that's going to be Arsenal, Juventus, and Galatasaray. So now, inside this function, we're going to attach listeners to each team. Yeah? So I'm going to say team.on. Then I'm going to say nation. This is going to be the event name that we want to emit. So we saw that in the previous lesson, right? Yeah, you thought you spotted something familiar. All right, so we're taking the team object, which is currently being passed through into this callback function. So it could be any one of these, right? And we're attaching this event listener to it. Now we can inherit the event emitter onto any object, which is created by using this constructor. So I'm going to attach custom events to each of these teams. Cool. So now we're going to do what we call a callback function, which is going to take in a nation. All right. So we'll send this in just a minute, but let's go ahead and log something to the console first. So I'm going to say console.log team.name, which is this property right here that we're going to pass through when we create those objects. So we're going to log the team name, and then we're going to concatenate is, then going to concatenate the nation, and then concatenate football club, just like so. For instance, if the current team is going to be Arsenal, this message would say, Arsenal is England Football Club. Got it? Cool. So when we emit these nation events on each team, then it's going to fire this callback function, and the callback function will take nation, and then it's going to say to us which team is which country. So let's call some events. I'm going to say arsenal.emit, because that's how we emit the event. And then it's going to be a nation event. And we're going to pass through a message, which is going to be English for the Arsenal event. Okay, so let's save that and run it. So I'm going to say node app. So now we can see Arsenal is English Football Club. All right, so remember we attached that event in here, and then we emitted that event right here. So now we can emit that event for other teams. So let's do it for Juventus. So I'm going to say Juventus.emit, and I'm going to call nation as the event. And then for the nation, let's say Italian, right? Then lastly, I'm going to say Galatasaray.emit, and then nation. Nation is Turkish, just like that. All right, so let's run it again. Node app. Okay, Arsenal is English Football Club. Juventus is Italian Football Club. Galatasaray is Turkish Football Club. Bravo. See, so this is really cool. All right. So now we've got some custom events on our own objects, which we've made, right? And we've attached those listeners to each object. And then we emitted those events just by using this events and util module. All right, so now you have learned how to inherit an event with a util module. And we certainly practice it a bit, go over anything that you might be unclear about, but we're going to take a short break here, and then we'll come back to more fun and frolic in the next lesson. See you then.